quarterback. 743 right now, easily one of the best NFL quarterbacks ever. As a kid growing up in Buffalo, Jim Kelly was my superhero. He's a Hall of Famer. He took the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowls. If you think that's tough, because he's Kelly tough, that was his motto. His toughest challenge wasn't on the 50-yard line. In 2013, he was diagnosed with cancer in his upper jaw, and now he's not only a Hall of Famer, but he's a survivor. Jim Kelly, the man, the myth, the legend, right here joining us. Great to have you.
North Tonawanda.
I know, right? Just a kid from outside of Buffalo.
Like it.
No big deal. Oh, well, it's honestly a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And the message you bring is not really necessarily about football. I mean, you're talking about cancer and really preparing for dealing with it, right?
Yeah, I am, because I know what I went through when I was first diagnosed. When I heard that I had cancer of the upper jaw, I had nowhere to turn, who to talk to, and my wife was really nervous. And I wasn't so much nervous about me having it, but my wife, my 2 daughters, because they just raised a little boy called Hunter who passed away at the age of 8. Now, how's Daddy going to tell them that I might not be here? So for me, that was the toughest part. But for the reason I teamed up with Merck is to hopefully make a difference for so many people out there that don't know where to look.
Well, and it's a cancer that maybe a lot of people haven't even heard of before, right? Because you hear about skin cancer and breast cancer, but upper jaw cancer.
It's squamous cell carcinoma is what I had, but there's 60,000 people will be diagnosed with upper, head and neck cancer this year. And I think the biggest key we're trying to do is to make sure people know what to do, the nutrition and the attitude that they have. Because I know when I was going through all my tough times in the hospital, not one time did my family ever walk into my hospital room with a frown. They walked in with that attitude. They're going to make my day better. And it means so much. It's not just a cancer person, it's the people you're around, their caregivers.
Well, what's the whole cancer game plan about?
It's really knowing what to do. If you feel something's not right, you got to consult with your doctor. Number 2 is your nutrition. I was one of those guys that pretty much ate anything I wanted, but I realized even now everybody should eat better, but it's so good to cut out certain things in your body that you don't need, in the attitude, because there's so many. I was blessed because I had a lot of people that were in my corner.
Do you think that made, do you think that was the difference?
Big time. There's no doubt. And I live by the four F's. My faith, there's no doubt that the prayers got me through. Number 2 is my family. As I stated before, not one time did they ever walk into my hospital room with a frown on their face. Not just my wife, my 2 daughters, but my brothers too. And then my friends all over the place. And finally, the fans. Even Jets fans, Dolphins fans, Bronco fans.
Come on, Dolphins fans.
Yeah, you believe that? They said, we didn't like you before. And I'm like, come on, man. But the thing for me, and I live by this, is a saying that I came up with is make a difference today for someone who's fighting for their tomorrow. And this doesn't really mean that they have to have, cancer. It could be your parent, your grandparent. You're not having a good day. Give them that hug. Tell them how much they mean to you. And it's so much the attitude. Yeah,
my mom's actually watching. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I believe in you. She had to watch this morning streaming from back in Ohio because Jim Kelly was going to be on it. She wanted to see that. So let's talk football for a second here. Your nephew, Chad Kelly, now and officially a Bronco. How is that? Because Elway called you, right?
Yes, he did. And we talked prior to the draft. And the thing is, I know Chad, his work ethic, and, even though he was, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, for him, he's just got to get through the neck, knee, and of course now his wrist. But his work ethic is unmatched. I never had the work ethic he had. If I did, I might have played a couple more years. It might have even been a little better. Might have won 1 Super Bowl. But the thing is, with Chad, he's a competitor. Even though he's going through some tough times with his knee and his wrist, he'll be all right.
What do you think about the Broncos? Did you talk with? You said you had dinner with Elway. Did you talk with him about the Broncos this year?
Not a lot. We talked a lot about the past when we were going through, because we had a couple other buddies with us last night. So we talked about the good times,
old football stories,
football stories, and some stories I can't say on TV. But it's so good to see him. Our class was so tight. Between Marino, Montana, myself, John, Steve, I can go on and on. We're still tight.
Well, and I got to say, to think that all you guys played at the same time. I mean, you just named 4 of the best NFL quarterbacks of all time right there playing at the same time. It's so cool. And we love that you're here with the message, talking about this. And are you in town speaking? Can people come see you?
No, well, I'm speaking tonight to an alliance, 400 nurses.
Got it.
So just to let them know that the caregivers are so important, because not only was my family right there for me all the time, but all the nurses and doctors, the attitudes they have. And it wasn't just because it was me, in Buffalo and in New York City. They all treated so many of the other patients with that care and that attitude that they need, because I was blessed, as I said before. I had people in my corner. I had my family, my brothers, my buds. But I saw so many people on my floor that didn't have anybody. They wouldn't even have 1 or 2 days. They wouldn't have anybody come by. But the nurses and doctors meant so much to those individuals.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, for sure. And please tell. Wait,
I heard Jim Kelly's here.
I thought you were going to be Superman.
No. I'm just a kid from New York, too.
I like it. I like
We
it.
can go run some K-gun in the
Can you
parking lot.
catch?
Oh, I can catch.
You look like a kicker.
Oh, my goodness.
Actually, I quit football halfway through the season, so I'm worse than a kicker. I'm a quitter.
I saw that.
Machine Gun Kelly, a pleasure to have you here, my friend.
And everybody's been so cool, even though I'm a Buffalo Bill, but I think people want to say a little, because now I have to wear the Denver Broncos hat and the Buffalo Bills shirt.
What do you think I do? I wear a Broncos tie on Fridays, and I wear
And a
this
Bills shirt on
underneath.
Saturday.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
All right, tell Buffalo I said hi.
I love
We're going to get over to. Well, are you up there?
Ken's up.
Okay,
Yeah, I got to
Ken.
button my shirt up.
Ken, take it away.
Where's your tie?
Give us the lowdown in the traffic.
It was weird. I was watching Greg take his tie off and his shirt. He's like, "No, Jim Kelly's here." I'm like, "What are you going to do to him?" So here's a look at.